Hey there, Starlight here. So today I want to cover something that I think a lot of community creators are reluctant to talk about, and that's what to do if you feel like one of your members is being piratey inside of the group. That may mean they've created their own group outside of the community. They're inviting other people to join them in that group. The other day, I had a client who said, "What do I do?" I had a member pop into the community and say that they were going to have to leave for financial reasons. And I saw that a longtime member of mine invited them to join a second group outside of my community that appears to be going on for a while. What do I do? Okay, so the thing I want to share with you a little bit about this is that anytime you have somebody who isn't obeying the rules, I like to operate by two trains of thought. I love the quote, never attribute to malice what can easily be explained as ignorance, right? So let's assume, for the sake of ourselves, our sanity, and our members, and their longtime participation in our community, that we don't have somebody maliciously trying to snake members out of our community. Let's investigate it. The second is having conversations with our members is always a high value information exchange. We get incredible information when we're willing to have an open and honest and vulnerable conversation with our members. And when one of our members is kind of stepping outside the line and not sticking with the herd, it's a really great time to open that conversation up. Now, here is a way that you might be able to consider this concern from a different perspective, right? I'm going to share my little doodle with you. When we have a member join our community, they're often on their own journey upward. And our membership or community or content or program, this is pretty ubiquitous, focuses on this stage of their journey as they're moving on, right? Now, the thing is there's lots of different stages that someone goes through when they're going through their personal transformation. Usually, your membership or your program involves focusing them around these four initial steps, right? Committing to a new path, learning the skills that are essential to that path, practicing those skills with others, and beginning to make it a permanent change. Usually, your membership or your program focuses on these members, especially when you're first getting started. But when your membership starts to get to be 500, 1,000 people, more than 1,000 people, you will have members who have continued out of this phase and yet maintain their membership with you. They don't need the courses, they don't need the programs, they're just there for a community. What is it that they do need? And this is where we start to see that they personally are likely going through additional changes where they're considering how to do what they've learned how to do and put into action over here for money and eventually making it their own mission. This is where certification programs come in really handy and training the trainer, as well as when we have a member who's begun to make our goal inside of the membership a permanent part of their life, this person becomes a very high value person inside of the community in that they can mentor and lead and help the rest of the group continue to make progress. In fact, big community leaders know that these people are ideal to tap into roles for higher responsibility because they're the ones who already understand the foundations and yet are sticking around because they really believe in the community. Okay. So, for the sake of conversation, let's say our little friend over here is someone who's been around. They were there during founding membership. Now they've been a member for 2 years, and you see this post where they've invited someone and basically revealed that they have a side group going on. Now, strategically, I see this as an opportunity to identify further opportunities for you to build programs or support mechanisms in place to leverage this person's interest in the vision. When we first get started, we really focus on like this early stage of skill development and acquisition. But as our members mature, we have opportunities to expand one of my favorite topics, our customer lifetime value, so that we can continue to keep them in our world, but continue to serve them. And inevitably, someone's needs at these stages are radically different than their needs at these stages. So, knowing that our member has made it to this point and started a side group, what is our approach? As a community owner, my goal is to find out a couple of things. One, is this person consciously breaking the rules? and being shady? Or is there an opportunity for me to bring them in greater alignment and greater support inside of the group? I don't know until I have the conversation with them, right? The other aspect is there something that I could do to further serve these members because they've gone and created a side group, right? When somebody goes and creates something on their own, it's usually an indication that what they wanted or what they needed wasn't provided inside of the original group. So, both of those as a community leader are opportunities for me to learn and take action. So, when I open up the conversation with my member, here's what I like to do. I like to start by putting some context around their membership inside of the community. I know you, I know how long you've been here. You're not just a number to me. And I appreciate your contributions inside of the community. I'll go through their posts and find something really relevant and acknowledge them for being an essential part of the community. And then I'll ask them about their response to this particular question. I saw that you had a side group that you invited such and such member to join. Can you tell me a little bit about that? You see how I'm not making any assumptions. I'm not making any accusations. I'm literally just opening the door to get more context. We're not assuming malice, remember? So typically in that context, the person will start to reveal, like, oh, I just thought it would be fun. We have these little mini accountability groups inside of the community. So I thought I would start a side one with some of my favorite people. And we've got this accountability group going on. And I just figured since the person didn't want to pay anymore or couldn't pay anymore, that they'd still want to be part of the accountability. From a community owner perspective, that tells me two things. One, that the accountability is working and that people want to have a longer term commitment to a smaller group of people. And that this particular person who's created this side group may be interested in being one of my team and one of the leaders in the community as somebody who continues to drive forward accountability events, right? I can give that person more responsibility inside of the community, keep everybody focused. They feel valuable and useful inside of the community, and they're able to leverage their advanced expertise on their journey to actually be able to contribute and support other community members, right? My whole goal when my membership starts to get really big is to find ways to replace myself and the experts that are leading the community and continue to scale. Really strong communities are interwoven and not a single branch driven by a single person, right? That's a real easy tree to chop down. So, in having this conversation with this member, I can see, like, oh, okay, clearly she's motivated to have additional accountability calls. Let me invite her to do that. The second is an opportunity for me to say, is there anything else that you wish was available inside of the community for someone at your level? Like, you've been here for a couple of years. I see that you've started an accountability group. Tell me about how else this is taking, an impact inside of your life. When we do that, we open the door to learn more about our target customers at their advanced level. And it begins to reveal product ideas and opportunities and monetization that help us get an extended customer lifetime value so that we're not only relying on the limited time that our member spends inside of our membership, we're actually able to maximize their participation with us for a long time. So maybe their membership, they're able to come in, get these new skills in 6 months, right? Maybe less. What reason do they have to continue staying with us if we don't support them in these other steps? They really don't. So if they stuck around and they decided to be a part, that means they have a personal connection to that vision in a bigger way. And that means that their needs have changed and we might have opportunities to serve them here. This also means that rather than monetizing for this initial stage with our membership, we might have the opportunity to have an advanced level membership, masterminds, taking it to the next level, whatever that may mean in your particular business model. When a member has reached the point at which they're excellent at what they're doing, but they haven't gone anywhere and they're taking on additional responsibilities that are technically outside of the control of the group, those are all indications that they have something more to contribute and that they might have something more that they desire to participate inside of the group. Now, if I went into this conversation saying, Jessica, you messed up. That's it. You're out. How dare you be pirating people and creating a group on the side? And yeah, What are the natural outcomes of that? Jessica goes back to the group, feeling super sorry for herself, feeling a little bit upset because she thought she was a valuable person inside of the community, and then creates a negative feedback loop inside of her side group about your community, which then turns members who are still in your community against you and creates this sort of mob mentality that really doesn't serve anybody, right? Why? Because we inevitably, sometimes it happens to the best of us, don't worry, we got a little tight-fisted about how our members behave inside of our community. So if this is something that you're dealing with, I suggest you to come at it from two directions. One, this person does not have malice in mind. That helps me relax a little bit, right? And second, this is an opportunity for me to learn how I can better use this person as a member of the community, how they can be more rewarded for their contributions inside of the community, and as an opportunity for me to learn what's going on in their world so that I can continue to develop solutions that are right for them. In this conversation I've had with Jessica, and I say, well, tell me about this side group that you have. She tells me about the side group. It's easy for me at that stage to say, it's against our community policy to have these sort of distractions. The reason is when people pay and invest to be inside of our community, it's to accomplish a goal and accomplish a goal together. And if we've got these side splinters, we're diffusing focus. Now, what I would love to do is invite you to bring your accountability group back into the fold. And I'll give you a time on the schedule where you can run your own accountability group and maybe even more members would love to join. Would you like that? Yes, I would love that. Based on what you told me about your need in the program, it also sounds like I could get you and a couple other founding members together to do some advanced work in this arena. And maybe we have a mastermind for you specifically because you're at this level on how you can take it to the next level and begin considering this for making money in your own life or making it your own mission. How does that sound? Oh my God, that sounds great. Now we've diffused the problem in a really peaceful way while also learning quite a bit of information to help us further create a cohesive community and not a divisive one. Now, once we're done having this conversation with Jessica, it's really easy to say, Queen, you know that it's against our policy to have these side splinter groups. So, what do you suggest that we do in order to manage this moving forward? How would you suggest we resolve this? And rather than telling them, you got to get out of the group or you got to close it down or we put the responsibility on them. They're the ones that went against the moral of the group. They're the ones that agreed to the membership agreement. They, whether they know it or not, have broken the rules. And so now it's up to them as adults, because we're all adults here, to determine the consequences of their actions. And often at that stage, that person will be really contrite, apologetic, and take action to do whatever makes sense to resolve the problem, right? And now we've had this really rich experience that came from what we would consider a situation that makes community members a little sweetie when we see somebody else like honing in on our group and trying to snake clients, right? This is just a new way for you to think about how you solve your problems with this. I thought I would just share this with you as an opportunity for you to see where you might actually advance your community when somebody's, quote, breaking the rules, rather than feeling like you got to crack down on them and create discord inside of your group. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Ciao.